them fill my course like a soccer ball. Feel run the road that don't need a map at all. Babylon them want to hold me with a strap at all. But man a lion, me no Cancer nor Capricorn.
Though they want to see me fall, I'm gonna be okay. Though my back's against the wall, I'm gonna be okay. They fighting me now, I'm gonna be okay. Jehovah eyes are watching me now, I'm gonna be okay.
Welcome to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and today we have a special guest. His name is Aaron Greaves.
Thanks for having me,
How
brother.
you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I can't complain at all, you know?
In this segment, we're going to go into his story, his testimony, his struggles from being a street-involved youth to now a college kid, about to be a college grad.
Yeah, 3 months.
All right. That's very good. So before we get further into this interview, I want to show a clip.
This young man, he's been very patient. He's had his hand up, so please.
Thank you.
Please say who you are, where you're from, and what would you
My
like
name
to
is
say.
Aaron Greaves. First, I'd like to thank you guys for all the opportunities and for everything you guys done. Just a little bit about myself. I've been convicted for an indictable offense in 2014. And I've always tried to change my life since then. Even before then, as a young person, I knew I wanted the house, the car, and everything, but I still don't know how to get there. And since going to jail and multiple runs with the police, I said, okay, let me turn my life around. So now I'm a student in the community and justice field, right? And thank you.
Congratulations.
So part of that is doing a placement in the field. And because of my record, I was shut down from everywhere. I could not go to any place to do placement. I couldn't tour anywhere.
You're not bondable because of
my offense, which is a firearm. So I really feel that I understand what the problem is. And I'm not gonna lie, thank you to the director of YSM and Eddy, the whole program, the coordinator. They actually took me in.
All right. Aaron, talk to me. How did you feel to be on news? The news?
First of all, I'd like to apologize for my haircut like that. I'm just joking. Honestly, it was a really good experience because just going from my situation to being able to be on TV and being heard in front of like so many different people, and then like taking my story seriously, or even what I had to say, it was amazing, man.
So talk to us. Let us know what's going on. What happened? I mean, tell me, in your earlier phase as a younger youth, street involved. Give me a knowledge of, where you come from, your neighborhood, what was your struggle, and what brought you from point A to point B. Okay,
first we want to get straight into it. I'm Trinidadian and come from a Caribbean family,
Big up all the Trinis.
Yeah. My mom passed away 2 weeks after my 7th birthday, right? So that alone is traumatizing to a lot of people. So with that, I lived with my aunt. She's an amazing woman. She's raising 3 kids at her own at the same time. So you can just imagine that dynamic, 4 kids now, by herself. So being with that, it was easy for me, when I go outside, it's just I'm just in the streets for real, just going outside, interacting with different people, because, your life at home, there's a lot of stuff going on, you would go outside, whatever, so very easily, and when I was young, I was, exposed to a lot of things growing up,
Okay.
So from that, you go into your teenage years now, like I said, it's one person at home, you're trying to get money, you're trying to, you got the whole world in front of you, but you don't know the path. So, unfortunately for me at the time, I was doing a lot of legal stuff. You know how it goes.
Okay, I kind of.
Yeah.
So let me know. So what neighborhood? What area are you from?
I'm from Etobicoke. I'm from the west end of Toronto.
Okay. West side.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what were the activities? What got you into trouble? What did you do?
Well, when someone's in a neighborhood like that, and you're trying to get money, every neighborhood got drugs, right?
Right.
You got that going on. You got the guns. When you get older, it goes. First, you might be smoking weed, selling weed, whatever, and then it goes up from there, right?
Okay.
And me personally, what I got arrested for, my first time I got arrested, I was for a firearm, right? So. Yeah, man, I was 20 years old. I was in York University, right? So the whole time I kind of thought I knew what I was doing. I'll do my little illegal stuff, but trying to push for the school. But I never had a good plan in front of me, to be honest. You know, I was just winging it, you know, just making up as I go, trying to, you know, do that. And I got arrested for a firearm, and that's when my whole life, like, I was like, whoa, I got it, you know, it was a halt for me. My life was going so fast, and then at the time I was 20 years old, it kind of halted for me, you know.
So what made you feel you needed a firearm, though? This is what we, you know, the audience may want to understand.
Well, it's the west end of Toronto, right? It's Etobicoke. You know, in that neighborhood or many other different neighborhoods around the GTA, you got a lot of gun violence.
Okay.
You know, you don't want to be a victim, right? At the same time, it's like, that's what's in the streets. That's the code of the streets. You don't want to die.
Right.
Like,
So
you know,
protect yourself.
You don't want to protect yourself. Yeah. You don't want your life to expire, you know, just like that prematurely.
So in the video clip that we just watched, you were talking, you said pretty much like you had some obstacles. Like trying to go to school and stuff like that. So, So bring us to that now.
Okay. So now, with the firearm, I had multiple runs with law after, but what really I got convicted for was the firearm.
Okay.
Right. I did my time already, probation, all that stuff. But I was like, okay. At that time when I realized, I was like, okay, I've been in trouble so many times. I don't want to live like that no more. As into, I don't have to look over my back, you know, and just worry about getting illegal money or something. I'm like, why not follow society? Right. So I was like, okay, I want to go back to school.
Right.
So I chose to go into community and justice services, right? Because I'm like, I already know the courtroom. I already know all this stuff, right? So I chose to go into that.
Kind of makes sense.
It makes sense, right? It makes sense. Yes. So I was chosen to go into that. Unfortunately, for anybody who does know me, or I'm just sharing this, at the time, I was to start school on January 21st. On January 19th, a guy who was very close to me, my best friend, passed away. So it was a lot for me, you know? I was like, okay, so I'm going to school now, first day. That happened 3 days before. So my teacher, she's talking and saying, hey, we got to do your background checks because we got a class coming up.
Right.
You're going to go to such and such institute. You're going to go to this jail, that jail, do reports and all that stuff. And I was, you know, my heart was beating. I was in class. I was like, damn, I need to talk to her later.
Right.
So right after class, you know, and I told you the incident happened, I had like still tears in my eyes and stuff. So I went to go talk to her. I said, Miss, shout out Kathy Marion, by the way. She's an excellent professor.
All right.
I went to talk to her, and she showed me the reality of the situation.
Right.
She was being real with me
Honest.
from the jump. She was like, Aaron, this might be not an option for you, or this might be a very big hurdle for you because in this class, you cannot go to these fields and all these observations unless you have a clear record, because I shared my record with her, right? So, like, I felt crushed, you know? But she was just doing her job. She was showing them reality, because what happened is, if I can't go to that class, I can't pass that class. If I can't pass that class, I'm not qualified to graduate. So she was showing me what it was, you know? So I didn't take no for an answer. I mean, she was just telling me what was going on. So I went to talk to the program coordinator and the good people at Sheridan College. I mean, that's a very good school where I attend to right now. I'm plugging them in. Yeah, the program coordinator talked to me, and he was like, okay, do you want to become a police or a correctional officer? And I'm like, no. And he's like, so why would I let this hinder you from doing something with your life and doing that, right? So yeah, they made alternative assignments for me. They helped me a lot, to be honest, you know, and I've been learning a lot from that school, and it's been excellent, right?
That's great. So but here's one key thing I want to let everybody know. Don't let nobody tell you can't do something.
No, not at all.
You know, it doesn't mean that they're saying it in a negative way, because a lot of people kind of mean you well, and they will say, no, man, no, like, you shouldn't do this, or trying to give you the right advice, but that's for them. It's not applicable to you. So you have to say, you know what, this is what I want to do, and still push, because now you're in a different place. And if you didn't do that, you probably would end up somewhere else.
Well, no, that's the exact thing, because I'm not trying to boast about the street life or anything, but when you don't have a lot of options, I have a record, I have a fire on my record. It's gonna take 10 years to get that you know, suspended. What do you expect somebody to do in 10 years? If I'm trying to better myself and go to school for community and justice services or something that's gonna help society, and you telling me or that I can't do it, or it's impossible, or this, you know, that person's gonna go back and do what they've been doing. That's gonna get me in trouble further, right?
And what happened in Toronto, in the city, in cities all over the world, you know, but we're talking about Hope in the 6. What happened is a lot of people get, feel negative and feel like, oh my God, I can't do this, or getting told the wrong advice or something discouraging.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to say not out of love. You know, they just saying they're probably trying to be real to them from their perspective.
Of course.
And they're like, oh my God, so they turn back to drugs because if they can't do what they love. And the thing about it is, we want opportunities for those that were arrested to now get an opportunity to do something they love. Because if they working a 9 to 5 at McDonald's or something, that's the only option, they most likely will turn back to drugs. So we're trying to now figure out how to navigate the system, how to connect with these employment opportunities out there, these agencies or whatever, to give now people up like you who have a record. Because if I look at you like now, I would never think you have a record.
Of course not. Of course not.
But you have a record.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So if you don't make it to the interview, and they see that record, you're not gonna get the job.
Yeah, that's
we gotta go to a break. Sorry, we'll be back and after these short messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hello, my name is Anisha, and I'm the production manager of TCN Network. Have you ever wanted to host your own show? Do you have a message to share? Well, you're in luck. We are looking for dynamic and unique individuals to host their own shows. We are seeking people who are committed, motivated, and energetic. Do you want to be the next Jimmy Fallon, Ellen DeGeneres, or Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved? Start here. Fill out the Propose a Show form on mytcntv.com. We're here to educate, support, and build the community. Can you lead by example? Go the extra mile and seek knowledge? Are you humble, disciplined, responsible, selfless, and enthusiastic? Those are our core values. And if you identify with them, you could be part of a growing network that focuses on positivity and uplifting our community. We can't wait for you to join us on TCN Network and hope to hear from you soon.
Welcome back to Hope in 6. I'm Eddie, your host, Eddy Martinez, and we have a special guest today sharing his story, Mr. Aaron Greaves.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Before we went to a commercial break, we were talking about applying for jobs and the resume coming up and the criminal record coming up, and looking at you as a young man. You look like a nice young man that have not done a crime. So maybe if you make it to that interview, you may get the job. But if the criminal record come up before you, like before they see you, they see the resume or, these things, it was kind of like a hindrance or a deter. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you have a criminal record, especially if it's an indictable offense, it's pretty serious. And you applying for jobs, and one of the first questions is, have you ever been convicted of a crime that you haven't been pardoned for? Okay. So that's just discouraging. Sometimes I won't even want to look at a application because of that. Right. But like you're right. When people see my resume, sometimes they might even call because I don't give them the record right away. Right. They might even call, and then everything is good. Like you said, they see me, I'm presentable, everything. But the minute that record comes up, like that's it. Right. Or even sometimes I'll send them my vulnerable sector because the area I want to work in, I'll send them my vulnerable sector, and they're just like, oh, your resume is good, everything, but we just don't have enough space because legally they can't say, I can't hire you because of the record. But we know what it is. It's a stigma. And, man, it's like a big hurdle, a big barrier. It's like a wall that Donald Trump wants to make. It's crazy,
So, yeah, that's true. So, some people will say, well, they can't ask you that because we have seminars and we have, like, group talkings, and they said, listen, it's illegal. We spoke with lawyers. We have the lawyers sit down with our class, youth that are on probation and stuff like that, and they tell them what is illegal. Yeah. They can't ask you this and that, but the question is, when they ask you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They can't ask you this. So give you an example. I'm like, okay. They say, have you ever been convicted of this? Or, what if I say, oh, sorry, you can't ask me that. Am I going to get the job? You know what I'm saying? You can't ask me that. No, like there's already a resistance like this. So they was like, okay, sorry for that question. scratch your name out and go on.
Yeah,
So,
it's one of those things that's like swept under the rug, you know. It's like you'll go to an interview and everything's going fine. The minute that's coming up, it's like you can see them throwing your resume in the garbage underneath there. It's like it's crazy. And the crazy thing about it is a lot of people in Canada have records, whether it be for something small, whether it be something for big, right? And like the whole thing is, I'm trying to get a job. If you don't make these convicts or people you don't like get a job and be successful, we're still going to be in the society whether we get a job or not.
Right.
And that's just going to make us more hardened criminals. Like, I'm going to be in the grocery store with your family. I'm going to be on the bus or driving with your mom, dad, whatever. So why not try to make the environment around you better by giving people a chance, right? Because then when, you know, people steal and do this and do that, you're going to blame it. Oh, this guy's known to police. He has a record, da-da-da. So it's all about one small choice and making a ripple effect to something bigger, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that you made a transformation because you were once that individual.
Oh, for sure.
So now, you know, you found placement. Let's talk about that.
Okay,
Let's get into that a little bit.
Okay. So I was doing the program. My program coordinators, my field practicum coordinators, they're all really good people. You know, they're just trying to help me. Once I had that conversation with my school, they were like trying to push me, and like, you know, there's like my program coordinator, she'll like send me to places and be like, oh, maybe you should try this place, try to get a placement, because that's part of the curriculum. You need a placement, you need to get 500 hours. That's what it is. So I'll go to these places and they would like me, but the record will come up. Because I'm trying to work in a vulnerable sector with people who have records. Right. So I would figure, why not hire me? Why not help me? Like, you know, I'm like very good to talk to these people. I relate with them. So I couldn't find nothing. Nothing. I was on YouTube one night. I was watching an interview. We Love Hip Hop. I seen Eddy Martinez on there. Shout out to him. You know, I seen him.
Dying thief though, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I seen him, and he was talking about the whole program, helping offenders on probation excel. So right away when I seen that, I didn't even finish the interview. I was like, if anybody's gonna take me, if anybody's gonna help me with a placement, it should be you guys, right? So I hit him up on Instagram, like very unprofessionally. I hit him up on Instagram, and I was like, hey, this is my situation. I'm trying, like, you know. And he replied. He was like, you know, I have a work email. You need to message me on that. And I did. And he was like, yo, everything's fine. I want you, but this is like a soft acceptance now. You need to sit with some of the higher ups and see how everything goes. So we did the interview, and the rest is history, right?
That's right. So he's part of Team Hope, you know?
Yeah.
Aaron Greaves, you know, this is his story. So pretty much you transition from one phase to the next, from a street youth to a college kid that's trying to graduate.
That's in community and justice services. And it's amazing. I mean, through the Hope program, we're actually doing so much. I'm not just saying that. We're actually doing so much. Working with people from 16 to 29. So it's even above the normal, like, oh, I'm a teen, I just get in trouble type of thing. Like, we're working with grown men. We're helping people's lives. We advocate for them. We go to probation with them. You know, anybody who's been on probation or parole, you guys know, when you guys go into the office, sometimes you're lucky if you get a good worker. They work with you. Most of the time, you know, you have somebody who's not coming from your perspective, and there's a lot of friction. So I get to go in there with them. I get to talk with them. After the client leaves, I talk to the probation officer. I'm like, yo, you know, XYZ is a really good person, or, you know, let's try a strength-based approach to try to do this with them. You know, it's been like a lot going to court. Small charges all the way to big charges.
So even I want to say this, because you did find me on Instagram, and that is an outlet. Like, I'm on Instagram for a reason. You know what I mean? I'm kind of old school, so I wasn't even into the Instagram, but I got into it, and now if you have a criminal record on probation or parole or any conflict with the law and need help, you could hit me up on Instagram at The Dying Thief. And I will a few people did. You know, I did a jail visit based off of some a lady contacted me through Instagram. So I'm there. I'm on that platform for a reason. You know what I mean? I do display music, but I display the work that I do.
No, that's
you know,
big.
So,
and that's how the internet should be used. I think like there's definitely a lot of things on there entertaining. But when you can actually use the same platform to hit somebody up to help with your life, I mean, that's crazy, right?
So we're gonna get into showing you in action. All right. Okay. So we're gonna go to this video. Check it out.
The salt is not really hard.
It's not hard.
I did what 6 days in the
The
south.
only thing I don't like about the salt.
Cold blow.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the salt, like, see, I was in the east, right?
Okay.
I went to the east section.
Yeah.
The inmates, we have like pull. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm serving everything. In the south, it's like the COs, like they're all there. Like, you know, it's a little different, right?
Well, the south, like, when I just came to the south, I get 10 cold blows, fam. 10 cold blows.
Right? And then the West Attention closed and the Dawn closed, so everyone's over there.
Everyone's there, fam. Every single one.
Clear
More
for
with an S.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
When is it not going to be here?
Next station is King Station.
Once you are all done and ready to go, exit elevators are going to be one floor down on the glass floor level. You take any set of stairs to get there. Just watch your step on the way out and enjoy the view.
Walk around.
This isn't a part of the building where, like, the upper, when you look in the.
Like here you get more downtown core. One jump. Yo, live your life. One jump. Live your life, brother. Live your life. That much weight. You can hold
Do you believe that? Do you really believe that?
I believe it.
There's no messing with it.
Oh, there is a screw missing.
Now you've seen Mr. Greaves in action. I want to talk to you about those experiences. Talk to me about the young man on the bus and sharing your experience. And how was that?
Well, I mean, it was crazy. I was talking to him. I'm not glorifying anything, but he was telling me a situation that he got caught with X amount of drugs, whatever. You know, it was a large amount. And I was like, whoa, like, you know, I was kind of took him back. 'Cause I thought, to be honest, I thought it was something petty, you know? So just hearing his story, serious situation is a serious situation. I was just chopping it up with him, talking about, you know, different jails with their experience, you know?
Right, right. So tell me a little bit of we got to go to commercial break, but after we come back from commercial break, I want you to talk to me about your jail experience.
Yeah,
you know, the jumpsuit situation and pretty much you being like peer-to-peer mentorship. You know what I mean? Like you know, young man, because I'm old and I try to be young too. I try to ask my son to teach me some of those dances. You know that little thing? And he's looking at me like, Dad. You know what I mean? He don't want to teach me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of complicated, but we'll get back from after this commercial. We'll get back into it.
Okay.
Welcome to Shadow Auto.
Welcome back to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddy Martinez, and today we have a special guest, Aaron Greaves. Before we went to the break, we showed a little clip of him in action. So we're gonna get a little story behind that, what we seen. So tell me, you know, you were talking to this young man.
Yeah.
And you went in the elevator, you took the trips, you were escorting. Talk to me about those things. Escorting people. Where were you going? What were you doing?
Okay, so I was with a young gentleman. He was doing academic upgrading. Sorry. So yeah, I was just escorting him to the community because sometimes, like, you know, when you're in front of these legal people, probation officers, lawyers, and they're like, hey, you got to do this. It can be like a long list. It can be stressful, you know, you don't know where to start. So what we do at Hope program, I can actually come in the community with you, or anybody who's within Hope, we can go in the community with you and escort you to these places. So for example, the academic tutoring, I was just taking him there, talking to his tutor, you know, about his strengths, what we need to do. It's giving them confidence, right? And then with the CN Tower, we also do fun things. Like we go into the CN Tower. That was everybody's first time except me, including you. That was his first time as well. Before my mom passed away, I had the opportunity. Her boss paid for us to go to Disney World, Disneyland, one of them in Orlando, right? But just me as a kid, I knew my mom was gonna pass away. This wasn't something. So I just remember, like, I was having fun, but I was holding myself back because I was like, you know, I don't know what was going through my head, but I just, you know, I wasn't really comfortable. And it kind of reminded me of these kids who are on probation. It's a totally different situation, or parole, but like you feel like you have a stigma on you. So I feel like they went to the place, but they're like, you know, we're supposed to have fun. So I just wanted them to have fun and free up themselves and, you know, just enjoy it. Right.
So it looked like y'all had a good time.
Of course, we had a good time.
We had fun. I was there.
Of course. So it was a good time.
It was amazing. But I do like to see you interacting with them. You know what I mean? As a peer. Peer-to-peer mentorship is I think it's awesome because every youth that you talk to and you share your story, they know you've been through what they've been through. So it gives them a level of comfortableness. You know, they feel like relaxed and. Because we try not to make it like institutionalized or robotic. And I wanted to ask you, do you really think it's necessary to go with them? Why he shouldn't just go by himself or go to these things? Like,
no, it's necessary. It's definitely necessary. First of all, when we have the probation officers and the parole officers, they may not understand where the youth is coming from. Luckily for me or for yourself, we can have an inside perspective because we get to know the youth, right? But they don't know. They have a job to fulfill. They want this person to do X, Y, Z. It's kind of difficult, and it's very necessary for us to go with them because now we can advocate for them. We kind of humanize them. You know.
So let me ask you this: but why the trips? Because and it's not me asking, but I'm asking for people, right? Why the trips? These individuals committed crime and they're being penalized for their crime. Why are you going to see places and have fun? Why do that?
Because you gotta understand, when you're on bail or you have charges, it's a heavy feeling. It's a stigma. I can't elaborate on how much of a mental health issue it actually is, because you just feel down. You don't want to apply for jobs. You don't even probably, if you had a girlfriend, you probably wouldn't want to take her out. 'Cause you feel like so low. Like, you know what I mean? You feel so low as a man or a woman, right? Like, it's like the lowest part of society. Nobody is like gonna look at you in a good light, right? So it's important to use a strength-based approach to like to have fun, you know, because everybody makes mistakes, whether you've been caught or not for it. You made a mistake.
That's correct.
Did it, you know, something. So it's very important to show these people like, yeah, you're human again. Yeah, you got this trial coming up. You got this coming up, but. Yeah, like have some fun, you know.
Live your life.
Yeah, live your life,
that's
right?
A code.
Like live your life.
I'm gonna use it. And I think even your story, you know, your mother passed when you were young. When you in a lot of street involved youth face so many different things that is unbelievable. I mean, some of us couldn't even handle that. We may be suicidal or do something.
No,
destroy
for sure.
ourselves. You know, that's why some people on drugs and so many things because the pressure of life. So I do really see when these youth, we allow them to be children. You know, because sometimes you miss that. You lose your parents. You have to be a grown. You have to be a man.
For sure, you get hit with the reality very quickly,
and then you know. So this kind of brings them back because we seen them smiling and they were so happy, and it's just like, wow, this is take a Kodak moment. You know what I'm saying? Like take a picture because people need to see that, and even if the public see this, they will see them. Oh my God, so he's not so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like I said, once you get a charge, it's kind of like dehumanizing. It's crazy. Like, even though this person could be like under 20 years old, the whole society just throws a stigma on them. Where it's like, everything, all the stigmas you believe, oh, this person is bad, this person is foul, you kind of feel like it's true.
Right.
Like once you get hit with that, you know, and it's 10 years for a part, and that needs to be changed. Like 10 years. So you're gonna be in that mood or that, you know, that
attitude.
low negative, you know. So you're gonna feel like that.
Don't care anymore.
Yeah, you don't care anymore. So you're gonna feel like that, and yeah, man.
And what I said on the last episode is that jumpsuit go with you. Not literally.
Yeah.
But you know that.
No, you feel like you're on the road with wearing this jumpsuit, like it's
Right.
invisible.
Right.
You feel like, you know, like people might not know your situation. You might see me and be like, oh, this guy's a great guy. Oh, this is that. But if I'm on charges, I'm not feeling like that at all.
Right.
I'm feeling like, you know, if you have parents at home or whatever, you feel like that trust is broken now because you're in trouble or whatever. It goes a long way, man.
Let me ask you something. While incarcerated, have you learned anything in there? Is there what did you learn by being incarcerated?
It's a double-headed coin. There's good and bad.
Yes.
There's positive, like I was like probably like 50 pounds plus, right? Muscle straight. I was working out. That you got just some time to yourself to think about what you really want to do in your life. You're in a confined environment, artificial confined environment. Everybody's wearing the same clothes. There's 29 other people all wearing orange. Like there's a lot of things that it does to you, right? But positively, you know, you can build up yourself a little bit.
Right.
I had my faith, you know. I was praying every day, you know, and but there's a negative side of it. You got people committing suicide when they get a big sentence.
Right.
You got, you know, just terrible like mental health conditions. People are just so negative, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in there, man.
Because my last episode, I broke down my portion when I was working actually in the correctional facility, and when it comes to the uniform, I'd seen certain people took pride in their uniform.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk to me about that culture, because that was very interesting to see. Like this, there's like
because you're like degraded, right? So you gotta you adapt to it.
Right.
So everyone's wearing the same orange uniform. Me, when you know people came to visit me, I had a different uniform that I'll put on. Like, you know, I had a New Year's uniform. I was like, yeah, this is my New Year's jumper. It's all fresh. Because you have to. You're going to start taking pride in certain things, right? Even though you're in a dirty place or whatever, you're not going to make yourself dirty and whatnot, right? So you're going to start taking pride in certain things. So, yeah, man, that uniform, it goes a long way.
Right, I see some people like certain style, because you have different style of uniform, the jumpsuit, and they were like, "Listen, no, I don't want that."
Yeah.
Martinez, give me this, please. Like, you know, I'm like, please, and I'm like, all right, I try, but we got to give what we have, you know. So it's very interesting. But I did see a lot of talented people incarcerated. Like they was draw me pictures.
For sure.
Like
for
they
sure.
would make stuff. I mean, then I have to compensate it because it's contraband. But I'm like, wow, look at this, you know. Let me get a picture or whatever with it.
Yeah,
it was talented people, you know, gifted people. Only if we could find something that they're gifted in and put them in, give them work to do, you know. So take a look at this next video, and then we're gonna go to commercial right after. Peace, love, and unity. Open the 6, man. We out here. From my step in the game, y'all know I'm bringing hope and tell them rappers to pass me the ball. Bruh, I'm open. Flow like a point guard. I go hard with my truths and my roots coming straight out the yard. Broader than Broadway, they like it the hard way. Hard head equals soft bottom. Streets got them. Who shot them? Who robbed them? Who died? Who made that boy mama cry? Was the homicide justified, or was it just pride? When will they learn? Patiently waiting my turn. Red Cross metaphors, that's sicker than yours. Pause. Now play back. Did he really say that? Trying to make him turn that wheel like passage.
got me into trouble was actually just influence and certain situation I was in. I was in a different type of situation, which had me looking to make money a certain way, or just have my mind in a different way. Like, you know, I really can't expand into that. We could go for days, but it just had me thinking differently. Like, you know, being incarcerated and all that stuff, coming back out, taught me that I didn't want to be in a confined spot, unable to do what I could do outside. Change for me is accepting the fact that what you were doing wasn't getting you somewhere, and then putting yourself in a position where it's just totally different in a positive way, where other people are looking up to you or looking at you as guidance. Success to me is comfortability, able to do what I want to do, and have the people around me too as well, comfortable, and me being a positive person, letting them be positive as well. Circle wouldn't change me at all. I'd rather be the one to change the circle, because, as I said again, success and positivity. Having a criminal record only shows you that you were in a situation that you shouldn't have been in, and you end up putting yourself in that situation, so it's your turn to make the effort to get out. A couple obstacles I face actually is just, you know, day to day, everything day to day, working hard to achieve stability like everybody else, like, you know, so that's really one of the obstacles. There's a lot more, but it varies from people, right? Me, I'm an entrepreneur, so I like, you know, business stuff, so I'm into creating some, like, you know, but if I was to do some business stuff, it would have to be at least in the banking area, because I, you know, had to stay around the money. That varies, man. That goes on for a while. Like, I'm more hands-on too, so being a hands-on person, I'm with the arts, music, and I'm a fast learner as well. So, you know, I have a cousin that does construction and everything, so I could even jump in that when he needs a little bit of help. I could go jump into that. I help him out there. I sing, I rap. I didn't want to be in a trap music, like, you know what I mean? But I try to do it in a like singing instead of having like straight bars, so it'd be a catchy melody. That'll be some bars. I can't do some singing right now. I can't sing like that. I'm a singer in the studio. I'm a studio singer. The studio singer. Yeah, I have 2 kids that I, you know, shout out my little ones out there, you know. 2 kids, I have 2 little brothers and sisters that look up to me and stuff, so it's different. It's like, I have eyes on me. I always had eyes on me, but now I take it more serious, you know. So me being back in there is devastating for me and my family and everybody else, so I play a big part.
Welcome back to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddy Martinez, and we have today our special guest, Mr. Aaron Greaves. So now we see this young man on the screen, and he's sharing his story. Shouts out to Trap V, a lovely young man. When you see him and he's sharing his story, what do you think, or talk to me about that?
Well, I personally don't know this guy, but I got a lot of positive things to say. First of all, I think he embodies what this whole interview is about, my story. I see like a lot of me in himself. Like, he seems like somebody who just recognizes who he is and what he wants to get out of life right now. He said something about if he was to open a business, it would have to be around banking or accounting. Right there, you can see that this man wants to make money, and he wants to make it legitimately now, right? So my best advice for him is just find out what you want to do. It's not too late. Like, you can go to school, you can get it. There's a million ways to get it. Like, you can make money legally so many ways, and you're gonna have so less pressure on you. You're not gonna be turning around. You can, you know, happily tell your spouse, your family, oh, I'm doing this, But when you're in the streets, you're not necessarily gonna say certain things. So just seeing his videos, like, it's like inspiration, knowing like, yo, there's other people trying to get it together and do what they have to do. And
he said in the later part of the video that his family, he got siblings that look up to him, and he got kids, so you know, it's really stressful for them, and it's like a pain, you know. So I love the fact that you have those, because some people don't have that to look and say, but he have something to say deter him, you know. And he sounds like he want to do very, and I know him personally, of course. So he's a really good guy. But if you look at him, I mean, because this is a stigma that people have. He have tattoos all over. His mouth is completely gold. You know what I'm saying? So you look at him and say, but I'm looking and I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? And I'm listening and saying, this is a fine young man, without the biases that we may have on appearances. You know what I'm saying? He's a very nice guy. He can articulate himself. Let's find something that he could do. You know what I'm saying? And let's tailor it around his ability, his gifts. So you see that he also mentioned a little part about like music. You know, like everybody's music. That's why that's why Dying Thief came about, you know, because everybody do music, and pretty much all the youth that I deal with, everybody rap, sing, or do something. Music is a universal language. How do you feel that that connects with them? Do you do music?
Well, no, like just growing up, you know, we rap and freestyle and do all that stuff. But with the music thing, I mean, I like what you're doing. It's positive, right? And whether it be music, whether it be anything, there's a ripple effect in everything. You make a small choice, it goes a long way. So you're doing positive music. It might be a little harder because like that lane doesn't really go, because we got this thing in the media, if it bleeds, it leads. Right. But yeah, like with the music thing, I love it. It's positive. You know, he's expressing himself, and the stigma that he has. Once you start being successful, these stigmas start to fall.
That's definitely
people. You know, now it's regular, right? So with the music thing, especially in the city too, you got a lot of negative music. I'm not gonna lie, I'll listen to some music. I give everyone a chance. But I just want to tell the youth, like, when you're making certain music and you're doing certain things in the streets, the police is watching. A lot of people are watching, the small, like the small notion that you might make is gonna lead to something bigger, and we see this all the time. So if you can just have a positive message, first of all, no one's in that lane, and second of all, only good things are gonna come from it.
So speaking of music, we have a street team. We got Jason Fresh outside in the streets, you know, dealing with the youth. Talented youth, because it's about music. You know, there's a universal language. We have a segment called Bars for Bars. So you know, there's a quote, there's a term, the slang, Toronto slang, free up the man them.
Of course, free up the man.
Free up the man them. So we all about free up the man them, but we don't want to free them up without nothing to come to. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So free up the man them. We're gonna go to the segment called Bars for Bars, right? Is bars, lyrical bars. I got bars for jail bars. So over to you, Jazz and Fresh. Check it out.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jason, a.k.a. Jason Fresh, part of the Hope team. In this segment, we're going to be doing a segment called Bars for Bars. Hey.
Poverty. You, me, such as we, are fed up, want to set free. Free of the things enemies so-called believe. Believe in what we're wrong, haven't achieved. Achievement goes along with self-confidence. Don't stop. Because like I said, I'm fed up. Living life without a mother, drunks, cracks, fiends. Can't function for her daughter. And my father, who's he anyways, I always wonder. Children's aid knocking at my door asking me if there's anything I remember. Whether it's a truth or a lie, I did not stumble. Flash back to my mind, and for the second time, I did not mumble, but yet stayed humble for the love of my family. Hands down with the poverty, one where the government really helped we. Welfare checks, not enough bucks. Can't get a right job, just leave that luck. And I will tell you straight, it does suck. Roaming the streets, seeing baby mamas trying to fetch something to eat. Homeless, cold curled, can't even get a sheet. One man robbed when all he could do was complain, while the man who robbed him is still rocking his chain. Still to this day hasn't learned a consequence. And so he roams with his head at the side, because he can't even keep it straight. And no one's helping him out, and now this is his life. And you tell me this is right? How? Why? If this is a nightmare. No share, no care, nobody there. But yet we gotta stay strong and show no fear. With poverty, we'll never see the world's real.
Welcome back to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and we have Mr. Aaron Fresh.
Aaron Greaves. I'm fresh, right? Thank you.
Jason Fresh,
Thank
bars for bars. Aaron Fresh, you know. But what's your thoughts on that video?
That was the realest thing I heard all year.
Yeah, man. She been through so much, and she expressed it through poetry. Shouts out to Cece. Celia, you did a wonderful job. We're coming to a close, so I want to say thank you to you.
Respect to you,
Mr.
man.
Greaves,
All that
Aaron
you're doing
Greaves.
off and on camera. Real talk.
I want to thank you because you're now an inspiration to others. You came from that life and you decided that it's not working for you, and you made that transition. That's what the Dying Thief is about. The guy making a transition or having a hope of possibilities, you know, to change and become someone new or become someone better. So shouts out to you. Thank you again.
No, thank you, man.
Peace and blessings. Much love. You guys can find me on Instagram at The Dying Thief. Facebook, The Dying Thief. And if you like the theme song, you could check it out on Spotify, all musical platforms, Apple Music. Be okay, you know. That's the theme song. I'm gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Though they want to see us fall, you know, some people don't mean you well, but I'm gonna be okay. Thank you for watching.
Thank
Blessings.
you guys.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm gonna be okay. I will fear no evil, that with my rod and my staff, I'm gonna be okay. Thou preparest a table before me in front of my enemies, I'm gonna be okay. Thou anointed my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. All on my shoulder, I'm a soldier, Lord, I told you, run with Jehovah. So nobody can test. Every day of my life, I'm blessed. Yes.